to another episode of Pretty Open-Minded. I have a few things to talk about in this episode, so if you're new, subscribe, like this video, comment, check out my other videos if you haven't already. Make sure you follow me on Spotify and on here so you can keep up with me everywhere. All my socials are linked down below. So today I want to talk about two things. One, the thing that's on my mind right now is the ban of TikTok. So I don't really know if I'm allowed to really talk about it on TikTok, because it seems like now that it's, I don't know if you could say lifted, because it was temporarily down for 12 hours, which, you know, everyone was tweaking the F out yesterday because everyone was like, oh my god, are we gonna get it back? Are we gonna get it back? Everyone was saying their goodbye post on there like before it hit like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so it was kind of annoying. Also, people were exposing their like secrets, like, yeah, I don't work out, I actually have a BBL, which was kind of crazy to hear that from like fitness influencers. And that there was like a mukbanger that said that she doesn't actually eat the food that she shows on camera. Like, there's a lot of people that do that. But yeah, so my thing is, okay, so today I went on there a little bit after the ban was lifted. And you know, it was cool, but I felt this really weird vibe when I went back on there. I couldn't really like describe it what it was, but other people were saying that they felt the same way. Talking to my friend, and we normally like send videos to each other back and forth on TikTok that we find that relates to the thing that we're like obsessing over. So right now we've been talking about Astrovino. Everyone and their mamas been talking about Astrovino, talking about how recently when she was like hanging around a lot of boys, we were trying to like just kind of like explain who's a minor, who isn't, because I know for a fact that one of them, I think it was like Jeffa's brother or something, was like 16 years old, and when she was on live she was trying to kiss on him. So I was telling him, like explain to him like who was, because I know for a fact that there was some 20-year-old in that group that she was hanging around last weekend, but I know that one of them was for sure a minor. So we were talking about that. All I said in the message that was that she was goofy for that, goofy for hanging around like possible minors, and also hanging around like using a carry-on bag as a purse. That's all I said basically, is that she was goofy for that. And she is, like, who does that? Like, there's actual purses out there for a reason, you know? But I sent it and it says message not delivered. And I'm like, why does it say that? Okay, I'm thinking at first it was my internet. And I look at it and I see that I got a message directly from TikTok saying that it was possibly a violation because it could have been like a hateful thing. Like, it came off hateful. Like, I don't know where my phone is, it's way over there, but it was like I got flagged. The message was flagged for like hate speech or something. And then I kind of left it alone. I copied it and I sent it to my friend through iMessage, because I was like, I can't send it to you through TikTok because it gave me a warning that, like, you know, I should dial it down with how I'm talking basically, which I've never seen before, never heard of before. People get so vulgar and so wild on TikTok and it never gets taken down. But I was privately talking to someone and it got flagged. Never had that happen to me before, okay? I sent him a message, a video about this girl crying about this guy that she dated in the past, saying that she was like really fed up with him because he doesn't like spend time with her, this, that, and the third. And I captioned it like under the message like, I want a boyfriend until I see videos like this. And I see a lot of videos complaining about their boyfriends versus people that are actually liking their boyfriends. So I see a lot more of people complaining about their relationships versus people that are actually genuinely happy with them. And I feel like TikTok was like a venting account, because people kind of do treat it like a spam account. Like, they just kind of treat it like that. So like, I saw this other message, like he popped up, like he sent his message, it said that like, oh, it contains like sensitive language, do you want to view it? And it said you need to turn on safe mode. And I'm like, what the hell is safe mode? I've never heard of this before. I click on it to view the message, and basically he just says, oh, that pissed me off, I hate men. It's not even like offensive. it wasn't even like offensive thing. It was just him expressing himself. He doesn't mean like literally like, oh my god, I hate all men. He's just saying like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's not that serious. People are speculating that TikTok was bought out through Meta, and which is like horrible because they have a lot of censorship. And so the thing that sucked, okay, I knew TikTok was gonna come back, okay? My concern was the other additional apps that were, I guess, connected to TikTok, because people days prior were saying, oh my god, they're gonna be taking away CapCut too. And I was like, no way. I was telling my mom, like, they're possibly taking CapCut. I did the research, and it said that it was a possible thing, and to be aware that it might be unusable until further notice. So I was upset because I use CapCut as my main source of like editing. So I was like, oh my god, I'm screwed. Like, I'm screwed all the way the F screwed, because well, now TikTok is back. The message that basically they just keep working on trying to restore whatever's going on. It kind of concerns me is that you can't download TikTok or CapCut, anything that has to do with ByteDance. You can't download it from the App Store. It is not there anymore. Okay, so now it says this: every time I go on CapCut, it gives me a message that it's not currently available. And it says a law banning CapCut has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use CapCut for now. Rest assured, we're working to restore our service in the US. Please stay tuned. This has been going on since last night. When I got home from the mall yesterday, this is what's been going on. This is what the message that would pop up. I cannot do anything on this app, but I can't delete it, because if I delete it, then I have no way of restoring it. Because it's not available on the App Store. So when you look up CapCut, it would be at the top. But it gives you a message now that basically TikTok and any other ByteDance apps are not available in the country or region that you're in, when it was available days ago. So I've been trying to try to look for a backup editing account, like app to use that's like CapCut. The thing that I loved about CapCut is that it had everything that I pretty much needed in one. I can make a lot of distorted sound effects on there that doesn't mess up my videos. I used to try to do that on my iMovie, and what I would do was like slow down the clip, and it would make my videos look really, really cheap and just not really well thought out. And it would help me, like, I was quickly editing things like with my shorts and with my long form videos. And so like I just liked it, okay? Like the filters were great. I could put little cute little aesthetic filters on it. I can use a lot of cute like fonts over the videos. It was great. I'm more worried about the future of social media because it seems like it's going to be hell. People have been talking about today, you know, January 19th today, how you can't go live on TikTok, and there hasn't been any ads promoted on TikTok. You know how like every time you scroll there is an ad, a TikTok shop ad or whatever? There is none of that right now. The other day, even yesterday before the shit was shut down, I was seeing a lot of Lululemon ads. For some reason, I don't shop at Lululemon. I never thought about shopping at Lululemon because they have these sets that are like $100, or like they have like shirts that are like damn near $100. And personally, me, I can't see myself spending like so much money on just a shirt that's just a basic shirt that I just can't. So I look for dupes. So I don't shop at Lululemon, but they keep pushing out like Lululemon like purses, and I'm like, why do they keep pushing this out? So that I thought that was weird, because it's like this red Lululemon purse thing that they kept telling me to buy, and I did not want to buy it. So then there was another thing that kind of bothered me about this whole situation, was that what made me uncomfortable was the fact that it was deleted from the store completely, and the fact that there were so many other apps that was connected through ByteDance it's kind of insane. Mark Zuckerberg, is from what I heard, is not for like, he lets people like use their First Amendment right, and with a lot of apps like TikTok and stuff, you can't use your First Amendment right, and they're like quick to like delete your shit when they think it's wrong, like if they think it's not with their guidelines. So it's kind of concerning because I don't know how this is gonna go. The second that this shit was down, people were jumping to YouTube, and a lot of people were like talking shit on Instagram about this whole situation. I was more upset about, honestly, CapCut. I can't even re-download Lemon 8 because they don't let you use it anymore because it actually is connected through TikTok. So the people were right. I really didn't want to believe that, but I didn't want to believe about CapCut because that's like literally my pride and joy. And honestly, like, it makes my videos come out so uniform with it. And I barely started using it like last year, honestly. Like, iMovie is great and all, and it got me through a lot of my YouTube career, but honestly it sucks ass. Like, it's not really like, it's not the way I want it to be. Like, I can't even really explain to you like how shitty it is, but like, that is my last resort right now. And I feel like my videos are gonna be low quality, and it bothers me, and it makes me not want to post because I know how I want my videos to be, and I can't really do it if, you know, this is an issue. I thought by now it will be like lifted and fine, but it's still like an error. When I was like, you know, scrolling on YouTube trying to look for something to watch, I was getting a lot of Instagram ads, like a lot of Instagram ads. And I don't pay attention. I don't really care for it. I'm just like, okay, I already have it. I don't know why it's still being pushed out like that. But yesterday, the whole time pretty much I was on YouTube, I just kept getting Instagram ads back to back pretty much. Okay, this is weird. I'm just gonna ignore it, but I just find it kind of odd the second that TikTok was down temporarily that there was a lot of ads being pushed out about Instagram. And a lot of people in my age range do not like Instagram because of the algorithm. It's really, really bad. Like, a lot of the content that's being pushed out is a lot of like AI things, and AI is like shoved down your throats a lot. And they keep trying to tell me to get AI on my new phone, and I just keep avoiding it because it keeps saying like, you need to download Apple Intelligence, you need to do this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Like, it's my new computer that I have, it already has Gemini on it. Like, I couldn't delete it. I don't think I could delete it. Sometimes they don't let you delete it. Sometimes it already comes in there with it and you can't do anything about it. But I don't want to rely on AI for everything. I'm not a fan of it. I feel like it's becoming such a thing to, I think people are relying on it too much for like too many things, and I feel like they're using it more than their actual brains. Like, your brain is there for a reason, for you to make decisions and actually think for yourselves, and you shouldn't rely on a robot or whatever to make those decisions for you when you have the privilege still to make your own decisions. But everyone is so chronically online that they're like willing to do anything to just still be stuck to their screens. And you know, I'm a doom scroller too, but I feel like I have some limits, I have some boundaries with some things, and AI is one of those things. Like, I feel uncomfortable using it. I'm noticing that a lot of people make jokes about how they use it a little too much, and there was even a person that used AI for their grocery list on what to buy at the store. And I'm just like, we're literally living in a dystopian, like, I don't even know what's going on. But people are saying that we're not gonna have TikTok for very long. Like, yeah, people were excited that we got it back, but it was not that good. Honestly, this comeback, whatever they want to call it, stunt, they keep saying it's a stunt. It wasn't a good one. It wasn't a good one. There was protests being out. There was like, what's it called, like, there was a lot of petitions going on change.org. They were trying to get a lot of signatures so people could stop the ban or whatever you want to call it. Those shits don't work. I don't know why, people still sign those change.org petitions. It doesn't do shit. It doesn't do anything. We've tried doing it for people so they don't get executed, because there's people that were wrongfully convicted and we were signing these petitions and they still got executed. It doesn't do anything. So I don't know why they keep pushing those things out. They keep thinking that we're doing something and that we're actually like being heard for once. It doesn't do anything. They keep telling you to call these people, like, oh, like, call this number if you want this person to not be executed. And it's always people that are wrongfully convicted. And then we do it, and then they're gone. So I feel like it feels like slowly like our voices are not being heard, and it's getting harder to find platforms to feel like our voices are heard. And one of those places were supposed to be Twitter, and I deactivated my Twitter actually like 2-3 days ago for a totally different reason. I wanted to talk about that in a little bit, but anyways, so I deactivated it. And honestly, you could say whatever the F you want to say on Twitter, which I do like. It could come off really bad to some people, but like, I don't really like constantly having to censor everything. I kind of just go off of how other people censor their words, and I kind of like take mental notes like, oh, I'm not supposed to say that. Like, why is gay a bad word on TikTok? Why is lesbian a bad word on TikTok? Why is dark skin a bad word on TikTok? Like, why is that bad when it's supposed to be? It makes my brain hurt. Like, everyone was like, I wanted TikTok back, but like, sometimes I feel like it does more harm than good. I feel like during 2020, when there was quarantine, it was cool to have because we were all like very connected. But I feel like we're so chronically online that maybe it's just too far gone for people to actually have genuine conversations and genuine connections. I don't feel like people are actually like going out and having genuine connections anymore, because I feel like everyone is just so chronically online, and everyone is just so quick to make a story time after they have one little interaction with someone. And you have to worry, like, am I going to be talked about in a video? And I've been guilty of talking about people that I've had interactions with, but like, honestly, like, what I feel like one of the things that we're lacking as a society is a community. Like, I feel like we forget how important it is to actually have genuine connections with people and actually have good people around you. It makes us human. You know what I mean? That we're just so disconnected and dissociated and so glued to our phones. And this is how it becomes like parasocial relationships, when people become so glued to their phones and they think that they actually have genuine connections with these people that are influencers, and they're actually not. Worried. Like, I don't like being worried about social media like this, but when it becomes to something, when it comes down to something like shit that I actually need, like editing wise, then I start getting kind of concerned. And there's no way for you to update, like, you know, TikTok or anything. You know, normally they would have you update it through the app store, or they'll do it for you, but you can't download it. Like, you can't do anything. So if it glitches, if it starts getting shitty, then that's just it. Like, that's just it. There's 170 million users on TikTok, and like, if they lose that, I wonder how that's gonna go, because people are already complaining about how shitty TikTok is right now, and it hasn't been a full 24 hours of it being down. It wasn't even down for 24 hours, but like, people were like already complaining about it. And at first I was like, why are people complaining? It seems fine to me. Then I started actually scrolling and kind of just like doing the normal shit that I was doing, and then I realized, like, the first thing that really caught my eye was the fact that I got flagged. that's what made me concerned, because I'm just like, why am I being flagged for something that I didn't even say? I didn't call anyone like a derogatory term. I didn't say anything out of pocket. I actually was very mellow and actually like not even out of pocket. Like, I don't even say derogatory terms, but I don't feel like I could have called her an ugly rat bitch, but I didn't. Like, I could have called Ash Trevino that, but I didn't say that. I've said that she's a deranged, she looks like a deranged chipmunk. She honestly looks like the bitches out here, honestly, but I just don't say stuff like that because I know that someone's gonna get mad. But it's just like, she has that look, like she looks like she has rabies, but I don't say that, honestly. But I was just kind of like, why did I get flagged for saying goofy? Why did he get flagged for saying that he hated men and that it pissed him off with the video? Like, I don't understand. What does that mean for us? I've been only using TikTok for 5 years, and you know, there's already been a lot of changes with just in general, like, and it's either good or bad, but like, I don't feel like it's gonna be the same anymore. And if it is bought out by Meta, then it makes sense on why I was getting flagged for something super minuscule, you know what I mean? Kind of heated over it. I've been kind of upset. I've been kind of like in my feelings about it, because I'm just kind of worried about the state of social media, especially if people like small businesses are reliant on that as an income. It is a little worrisome how you don't know where it's standing, and we don't know who bought it for sure. People are just speculating that it was bought out by Meta, but yeah. They were also saying before, like, it shut down yesterday, that people needs to delete YouTube and delete Facebook so it doesn't give like a Meta or whoever owns Meta like power or something. And because they were, I guess they were tracking down how many people went to TikTok or YouTube or Instagram after the shutdown happened. But I'm just like, you can't tell a bunch of people to do that, because they need some type of entertainment. Like, we've gotten so chronically online that we need like something to entertain us. Like, it is kind of fucked up that, you know, this problem made its way to the White House, because it doesn't seem like something that you should be concerned about. I mean, yes, the data breaches are concerning and it's happened. It seems like it's a more prevalent thing now. I don't know who to blame for this, but like, I do feel like this is kind of the least of your worries when it comes to like politics. Like, the fact that this is even a political issue is honestly crazy, because there's so many other things to talk about and fight for, but they choose an app to argue about. And then when they couldn't get to an agreement, they just shut it down. And they do that, I forgot how, my mom used to explain it to me, but they used to do that. Like, they kind of would just like do these like blackout things, and when they couldn't get to a agreement in the White House, and I couldn't remember the terminology for it, but they've done this. But granted, I never seen it happen real time with an app. I've never heard of it. This is all new to me. So yeah, I just feel like I need to get my feelings out, because I feel like if I did on TikTok, I feel like someone's gonna get mad from whoever is bought out by the app. There's a few people that were wanting to buy out TikTok, but it wasn't like people that I really would want, because I heard that Mr. Beast was one of the people that wanted to buy TikTok, and there was also this other person from Shark Tank that was offering like 20 billion to buy it, which I don't know anything about him, so I wouldn't know how that would be. And I wouldn't want Mr. Beast to have it, because that will really be goofy, because then it's just gonna be super bubblegum and boring. Like, it's gonna be so boring. And also, I have like another unpopular opinion. Since everyone was like, all the influencers were freaking out and kind of like stressing over the whole ban, like a lot of people were like running to YouTube and they were like making accounts and posting their little shorts on there and trying to make like vlogs. And I feel like not everyone is made for YouTube. Like, just because you can make a YouTube and just because you bought an expensive ass camera, it doesn't mean you have the criteria to make a good quality YouTube video. Like, I've been making YouTube videos technically since I was 11 years old, but I got more serious about it when basically now, honestly, like 2020 on, honestly, that's when I got really consistent and really serious about it, because obviously my family put a lot of money into me doing this craft and something that I actually really enjoy doing. And honestly, I see people buying like a bunch of cameras and not really using it, like when you could actually just start on your your camera, like your phone. Like your phone most likely has a good quality camera to it. When I started, I used my iPad. Before it croaked on me, I used my iPad, and I used to use my photography camera. Even though it doesn't have a viewfinder, I would use that as my vlogging camera. I would use that before I got this camera. I used little things to get like little videos out. I wouldn't edit it because I didn't know how to edit, so there were so many like awkward moments, because like the first few videos of mine were unedited. Like, that's just how it was. But I get kind of annoyed when I see like influencers that are mostly on like TikTok get like $2,000, $3,000 cameras. And I know that's not my money, and I know it's not my business, but you know they're not going to be using it. Like, you know they're not going to be using it. It's just going to be collecting dust. And then like when you see these influencers going back to YouTube after this little ban, there's no consistency. They use it as a backup plan. They try to get all their little followers up so they know like when they get like monetized on there, they have another like ad revenue going on. But for long form content, like I've watched it through some TikTokers, and it's so boring. It's so awkward. It's boring. They're not engaging. They're looking everywhere else but the camera. Like, they don't engage well with the audience, so it's not captivating for me personally. Some people will be like, oh my god, I love this video, but it's because they're just excited that it's longer. But me personally, I'm just like, this is trash. Like, there's no thought behind it, and you could tell that it's just rushed. You could tell that they just want it for the money. They're not here for actually trying to build a genuine audience that actually feels like they, like you could tell when someone cares about their craft, and you could tell when people actually are just doing it for the money. I just have a lot to say on my mind. I'm so tired too. It's almost 11 p.m. and I normally would be asleep by now, but I'm watching my dog. I watched Baddies, and it was honestly like so annoying because like Rolly has been kind of annoying me. I'm not gonna lie. When they brought Slim, I feel like that's when I started getting really annoyed with Rolly again, because Rolly keeps insisting on calling Slim a assistant or a pet. And I feel like obviously it's for a storyline and everything is scripted, but I feel like also like Rolly feels like she's like a big shit, like some like big shit, because she lost a lot of weight, she got her surgery, she got her body done. So I feel like she thinks that she's better than everyone, and I feel like she thinks she's better than Slim, even though her and Slim used to be like best friends apparently, and they had a falling out because I guess from what I remember, Rolly said that like Slim's dad was not fully black or something. He was half black or something, and it became like a race issue because obviously Slim is mixed. I can't say that you could really consider her a black person, because she doesn't look black to me, but she is a mixed person. Like, she probably has like 25% black in her, but like she felt like it was like attack, like, yo, you're talking about my dead dad, so she took it really personal. So I guess she was talking about her son, and they got into it on the interwebs, and then when they met up, they actually like squabbled over it. I feel like, honestly, like, Rolly only beats up people that are smaller than her. She's only beat up one person that was close to her size, and it was only one time. I don't know if you can really count it, but it was with Biggie, and Biggie was brought in as a replacement or something. I don't remember what season it was, but she was brought in and they were like talking shit to each other, but I wasn't really fighting. It was mostly Rolly mocking her. And then whenever Rolly beats up someone that's smaller, you could tell that she feels more superior. And her tactic with fighting is just literally wringing them by their hair, by their neck or whatever, because she was wringing her around like a fucking, like a doll. And it was like kind of concerning to watch, because I'm just like, I've never seen this in my life. But her tactic is doing that, and also cornering people. She was cornering Slim the whole time they fought. They fought a few rounds, and then they would start out in the middle, and then she would push her and push her to the corner so she can get more hits in, so she couldn't get out. And that's when the security guards would intervene, and then they would start over again, and then she would end up cornering her again, which I don't think is fair. I don't think it's fair. I know that Slim probably fought her for like some money, but she does give sometimes that she's a prostitute, and not that I'm saying like it's a horrible thing, but I do feel like she gives like sometimes that she is selling her body. I don't know what it is. She doesn't have to say it, but I feel like she is. And I feel like she came back probably because she was running low on money or something. And it's probably just easier because they know her already. And the last episode with her in it, Summer has been annoying too, because she was getting it into with Slim, and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, you guys don't even know each other, but you're fighting. Trying to kick her out when she was already invited in, because only from Rolly's orders. And I don't know, it's such a headache. It feels like, honestly, when I was little and people used to kind of like kick me out of like groups because of how they felt about me in the moment, and it would just be really annoying when I was little, because I would be like, oh, I want to hang out with you, and then they'll be like, I don't want to hang out with you right now, and they'll make it like a big deal, and like they would hang out with like these groups of people, and it would become really cliquey. And I'm not like a fan of like cliques, honestly, because it never goes well. But yeah, it's annoying. Like, I'm not really like a fan of baddies as much anymore. I honestly feel like I only watched it for Krishan, and now that Krishan isn't there really, I just feel like I'm just kind of like, well, now I feel like I have to watch this because now I'm invested. But people post the highlights on TikTok, and I should have done it that way, but I'm also kind of invested. Yesterday I went to the mall to get my phone fixed, because I've talked about this several times already, but I haven't really posted except for one video. Yesterday I had to go to the Apple store to get my rear camera fixed, because it was completely shattered for some reason. And mind you, I've only had this phone for 2 months, and it already had problems. I had to buy a new screen protector, because I guess when you get it done at the Apple store, they have to take it off. And if you have insurance, you have to pay $107 to get your shit fixed. The good thing is, like, I don't have any problems internally, but like, if you didn't have insurance, you have to pay more. But I feel like I still paid a pretty high amount for someone that has insurance through Apple Care and through T-Mobile. I was kind of annoyed by that because I'm just like, why did the first lady tell me that I was gonna pay $30 to get my camera fixed, but then I call this other guy and he tells me it's gonna be $99. And I should have known that it was too good to be true. And I was so overstimulated yesterday because I forgot that there was like a lot of people there, and it just feels like it's always hot, and there's several levels, but I don't really like the mall anymore. But as I'm getting older, I like smaller gatherings. I don't like feeling like I'm on top of people when I'm out. So I had to kill a lot of time because it was gonna be done at like 7, and I was there from 4 or 5ish to 7. Then I was really not trying to buy a lot of things yesterday because I'm extremely broke. And so I've spent more money today, I feel, than yesterday. All I bought yesterday was some chocolate. That was $4.90 at Box Lunch. And then today I bought a poster of Coraline. I bought chips that were on sale from Target, and I was gonna get these shorts that were Kuromi and My Melody from Marshall's, but then I put it back and I kind of regret it because it was only $9 and I should have gotten it. But I was like, oh, I don't want to spend a lot of money, but then I proceeded to spend a lot of money today. I think I spent like $30-40 today, which isn't a lot, but I had a lot more money the other day. But since I've been out the last 3-4 days, I've been spending money that I didn't really need to do. Like, I didn't really need those things except for my phone to get fixed. I did go to like Five Below and I did get candy, but I didn't really get a lot. But those little things just add up. Like, it's so annoying. And then coming home, I had to pay for that, and it's just a lot. But yesterday I was like walking upstairs with my mom. We were just kind of walking around, and then this lady was like, oh, like she just had like a packet, a free sample of a hair serum, and I grabbed it and I said thank you. Gonna walk away. I said thank you and I walked away, and then she goes on to talk about more things, and then I go up to her again and I'm like, oh, what did you say? And then she's like, oh, do you want to try the flat iron? And then as I got closer, she's like, oh, try it, just try it. And I'm like, oh my god, I got roped in. And so she tells me about this flat iron that actually retails for $500. I don't know why it's $500. She's trying to tell me the runaround about it. Mind you, my hair, even though it was late in the day, my hair was still damp, okay? So she picks out a piece of hair like around here. I think it's still straightened actually. If I could find the piece, I think I could find it. It's kind of hard to find because like all of my hair isn't straightened, but you could kind of tell when it is. But basically she picks out a piece, like one of these pieces right here, and she straightens it. And I was like, all of a sudden I hear my hair sizzling, and then I kind of like try to get it out of the straightener, and my hair's still wet. And then she's like, oh, like you could still straighten your hair when it's wet like that. And I'm like, in my head I'm like, oh my god, I've heard of these type of flat irons, and it always feels like it's very concerning how you could still flat iron your hair when it's still wet. Like, that's kind of concerning to me. So dang, now it's gonna bother me that I can't find it. So she's straightening it. Oh, here it is. This is the spot. You see how the bottom part is wet, I mean curly, and not the other part? I don't think I wet all of it when I was in the bathroom yesterday, but this is the part that she straightened. And so I see how that it's like straightened, and it's like all the way right here. So she's like, oh my god, like you have so much hair, it's so long. Like, she was like really like in awe of my hair. And then she's like, how many times do you straighten your hair? Like, how long does it take you? And I was like, oh, it takes me like 4 hours because I have a lot of hair, and even though it's short, it's like shrinkage plays a huge role in it. A lot of hair, like it is long. Like when I do straighten it, it is pretty long. So I tell her everything, and I keep reiterating a lot, like I don't straighten my hair a lot. Like last year I straightened my hair twice, and I feel like twice, 3 times a year is like the limit for me, because it's not healthy to straighten it a lot. I'm trying not to get to that point in my life where I'm straightening it every single day like I used to in high school. Like I did it from 13 to 17, she's telling me like, oh, you should get it, like I'm gonna tell you like you should get it, and she's like telling me like you could get it for free but for this catch. And I was like, what's the catch? And she's like, just pay for the lifetime warranty. And I was like, and I think she could tell that I was very uninterested, because I kept being like, I felt really like uncomfortable. I know that this is their job, but I hate going by kiosks. I hate the malls because it's nothing but kiosks. And then when you go into stores, there's already a bunch of people being like, oh, do you need help with this? Do you need help with anything? Every time I go to Lush, I feel overstimulated. This is why I end up buying online, because I don't have people shoving down my throat trying to see if I need help all the time. When I could read, I could see how they work, I know what they do. Like it's just annoying. Like smell things, but like every time I smelled something, they'll be like, do you need help? Do you need help? And I just forget like how annoying it is, because I do remember I tried like applying for Lush I think a year ago, and they do say in the description that you do have to constantly ask them, do you need help? And I know that's protocol, but it's just like, bro, like chill. Like you say it every 5 seconds, and you wonder why there's 5 people in this bitch all the time. Like it's annoying. So then yeah, so she said, like I was like saying like I wasn't interested in buying in it, and then she's like, oh wait, like you won't have to pay everything up front, like we have payment plans. And I think she was just trying to pull out anything from her ass so she can make a sale off of me. But I was already telling myself that I was gonna spend this $100 to get my phone fixed, and that's it. Like I'm not trying to spend anything else, because I still have to go to school, and I don't know how much these books are gonna be, and I'm just worried about that, because they're always around like damn near around $100. So I'm just like, I still need to go to school. Like the other day I not deleted but deactivated my Twitter that had the most followers, and they said that after 30 days and you don't like reactivate it, then it will be permanently deleted. So when I was reading that message, I actually felt nothing, and I felt really like, I don't know how to feel, but it was kind of not euphoric, but like it felt like growth. Like I was kind of freeing myself, because I feel like I was shackled down, and I felt like I had to do it to get some sort of income. Also, I was in a very vulnerable place in my life when I started it. I was like I'm still very young, but when I did it I was very naive. I was very like in a place where I just wanted attention. I wanted to be loved by someone, and doing OF was the only really way that I could get like people to talk to me. But after a while it becomes very dreading. I don't feel happy doing it like I used to. I used to be so excited to do it. I used to make days set, like separate days, like to make content, and I don't do that anymore. Also, when my weight started fluctuating, I started not really posting my body a lot, because I think when it became like 2023, I feel like my body didn't look like how it was before, because I stopped working out at the gym. So my body lost all the muscle and shit like that. So it was just kind of like, you know, I don't like to call myself like thick, because I'm not like super skinny like I used to, but I'm not also like super fat. So I'm just kind of like in the middle of that, I'll say. But that's just how it looks, and I just don't really like seeing myself. Like when I was trying to post pictures of myself in that state, I wasn't really like confident like I was, and it just wasn't like enjoyable. Like when you post like pictures of yourself in that way, you're constantly critiquing your body. You're constantly like looking at yourself and trying to see if it looks good, if it's good enough for people, like, and it just becomes so draining when you're constantly like nitpicking about how your body looks for people just to pleasure themselves with. And it becomes very like draining after a while. Like also like seeing the Lily Phillips documentary, like clips of that, and also seeing Bonnie Blue, like it was so uncomfortable to hear that, because at what point does it become like self-harm? Like why are they trying to set records of sleeping with the most men in under 24 hours? And I know that some people's reality is like jobs, but like I feel like it's just not healthy. Like it's not. And I feel like once you become like an adult, I feel like people always are rushing you, or they try to push a lot of like videos or content creators that do it, and they try to make it seem like you're gonna make a lot of money doing this. Like selling your body is, you're gonna make a lot of money, because sex does sell, but I feel like you have to be very popular. Like you have to be an influencer and have a lot of following to get some type of traction on your stuff. Because when Danielle Bergoli did it the second that she turned 18, it's because she was already being sexualized. Like when she was coming up, she was wearing, like, she obviously looked very mature on her, like she obviously was like going through puberty like as anyone else would, but she was wearing like push-up bras and shit like that, and people were sexualizing her a lot. I wouldn't say that she looked older than what she was. In some pictures she did, but like I could tell that she was sexualized. I could have sworn to you when I was in high school and seeing her come up, there was a bunch of weirdos that were like calling her like hot and shit, and they were like adults, and people were like excited to know that she turned 18. And then the second that she made an OF, she made like millions of money on it. And this could be going the same way for Sophie Rain. Is one of the most paid OF creators right now, and everyone is like mad, or I don't know if you could say mad, or disappointed or concerned about her well-being, because she's 19 and she has like a baby face to her. Doesn't have, like, you could tell that she's not grown enough. Like you could tell that she hasn't grown into her features. And I was her age when I started OF, and she's already made like millions of dollars off of doing it. But obviously it's because she looks like a child still, and no one talks about that. Like she literally still looks like a child, and that's why she's making a lot of money, is because she looks like a child, and people can just be like, well, I could jerk off of this and it's okay because she's an adult. But she literally looks like a child to me. Even though she's of age, she looks like a child. And that's all I can really say about that situation. But it makes me uncomfortable knowing that she makes so much money doing that. I mean, I'm happy for her, but it's also kind of like I feel like I know the motive, because I was in your shoes, but I didn't make a lot of money like that. But I was in her shoes at some point, and people do prey on people that are like around this age about doing this type of work, and they do become a little obsessive. I didn't really have like stalkers or whatever, thank God, but you do have to be really careful about how you post things. And if you do this type of stuff, like, you have to be careful about what you're posting and what you're doing, because especially if you have a big fan following like Sophie Rain, like I can only imagine how like stressful that is. And just, I don't know, I feel like I'm turning over a new leaf, and I feel like possibly I'm closing a chapter with this whole like OF thing. A month ago I was emailing like the companies that I signed with, like made accounts with, like because it was a lot of platforms that I was like trying to make money off of. It wasn't just OF. But I was emailing them and I was like, oh, can you because you couldn't manually take it off yourself, like delete your account yourself. You had to like email them. So I was doing that for like a while. So I was slowly doing it. I wasn't trying to like push myself into doing it. I wanted to do baby steps. Don't want it out there. I don't want anything really out there except for my YouTube videos, my TikTok videos, and my podcast and my Etsy business. That's really what I want out there of myself, and that's it. That's it. I don't want people to look at my butt. I don't want people to look at my boobs. I just want people to see me as me and not an object. I don't want to be lusted over anymore. Like, I want an actual genuine relationship that actually lasts longer than a year. Like, I obviously wanted one day want to be someone's wife, and I feel like I deserve that. And it took me a long time to say stuff like that about myself, because I always feel like I wasn't worthy of that type of stuff. But obviously I am, and I have to remind myself, like, I mean, obviously it's gonna happen. I just don't rush things because it doesn't make anything better. But it just feels like, you know, I did honestly used to feel guilty about doing OF when I was in my last relationship, and there were some times where I was just like, oh my god, I should just stop doing it, because like I really don't know how he truly feels about me doing it. Like, yeah, he says that he's supportive of it, but is he really, you know? And honestly, I feel like it creates problems sometimes. Unless you're really mature and have open communication and comprehension of what's going on, it could work. But I feel like if you're horrible have communication skills, like, it's not gonna work. But I just am like, I do remember just laying in my room when he wasn't there and just being kind of guilty about it, and I hated that feeling. Like, I don't know. And also telling people, when you're in the dating scene, telling people you're doing OF, they automatically block you or try to look you up. There's no in between about that situation. Doing it for me, because I've already felt really unfulfilled about it for damn near a year now, maybe 2 years. And it just becomes a cycle. And and also the pay is very inconsistent. I have not made money from doing work like this since July of last year. So we're in the middle of January right now, and that is concerning. It wasn't always consistent with me, but I was making more money back then than now, you know? And I just don't like that uncertainty of not making money. Like, I want to make money every month on my platform, not every other month or every 4 months. Like, imagine if I was living on my own and I was relying on this for income. Like, that would get me evicted. And especially since I was promoting it all the time and trying to grow my platform, it wasn't getting me anywhere. So yeah, it's just annoying. Like, that's really all I really had to say. Like, I just feel like I'm tired of it. And like, honestly, I get kind of tired of like going on my Twitter, because I follow a lot of like people from engagement groups that I was in, and a lot of them do post a lot of explicit content without it like blurred. So basically I'm watching porn without my consent, and I'm scrolling, and sometimes I do like miss scrolling on Twitter in public or whatever, and like not have to see someone's like ass or seeing someone like suck their man's dick. And every time I scroll in public, I have to remember, like, I can't do this in public because there's actual porn on my page that like people post, and since you can't get in trouble for it like you can post it without any issues, like, because that's just like the beauty of X. But honestly, I feel like Twitter is like dying because like there's so many bots on there, and it's just not really like it's cool that you can post whatever you want, but I feel like it gets kind of like annoying with the bots. Like Instagram used to like get rid of bots like every few months, and YouTube used to do it too, but for some reason I don't feel like they do it enough or at all with Twitter. No, I used to be very proud to be like, yeah, I do OF, but now I'm like, I don't do it anymore. Like the same cycle over and over again, and I just get tired of like having the same conversations with different faces and like pleasuring people, and it gets kind of annoying. Like, I don't know. And then like they like try to like push those boundaries a lot and try to like, oh, like I'll give you more money if you show your puss, and I would be like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I have lines, like boundaries, and you have to be really stern on it. Like, I'm not gonna show that part of my body because I know that that was one of the places that I really didn't want to be shown on the internet, because I wanted that to be sacred to me and my partner, like my future partner, and not for the world to see. So I started that when I was young because I know how people get, and I know that like once they see every part of you, like what else can you get off from? Like once you see everything, like how are you gonna make money if you're gonna keep like showing them every little part of your body? And I don't even know if Sophie Rain posts every part of her body. I don't think she does, because I think she just posts like her in bikinis and shit. But like people are weird and people are creepy, and I'm kind of falling asleep, honestly. Like I didn't really think I was going to be talking for so long, but I'm gonna go. I hope you guys enjoy this video. It's probably gonna be like a really long one because I talked so effing much this episode, which isn't like the worst thing in the world. My videos haven't been like a really long in a long time. I try to get it to like 30 minutes, but I feel like the reason why podcasts are made is so it's like an hour or long, so you could feel like you're actually feeling a connection with the person that you're listening to. See you guys soon with another episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you another time. Wolf is like knocked out. I don't think you can see him, but he is snoring like a grown man. Like you're probably gonna hear that throughout the whole video. Like